Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm glad to have you all here talking some raid with me. Today's going to be a very interesting video. One of my most requested videos here of all time. I'm making it happen for you guys today. Sending some positive vibes your way before we take a crap on all your favorite Raid Shadow Legends characters in today's video. A reminder for you guys. It's obvious, but it's a reminder. If you're going through something, even if you're not going through something like absolutely life-changing, something super seismic in your life in terms of, putting you in a bad mood or whatever, I think it's super, super important to remind you guys the power of music. If you're anything like me, music really does have a profound impact on your mood, or it can have a profound impact. So next time you're feeling a little down, hopefully this, this intro to a random Raid Shadow Legends video interrupting your day, thanks for clicking on it, will serve as a reminder, the power of music. And I can recommend what I listen to, I'm wearing a little, rocking some Billy Joel, no big deal. It's all about the individual, right? For me, a lot of it's nostalgic music I listen to, that remind me of good times in my life. And a lot of it is exploring new stuff as well and finding new songs that I really, really dig and can kind of jam out and vibe out to. Today, we have the 20 most overrated. It's not the 20 most overrated, just the most overrated champions in Raid Shadow Legends. So many requests for this video. And as I go through some of them here, like a lot of you guys asking for the same thing. This guy here, Paul, he comes down and he says, maybe suggesting top overrated or underrated champions. You could divide by faction or rarity for people looking to invest or argue about champions they invested into. Okay. We're gonna do the overrated today, right? Listen, guys. First, two quick things to talk about first, right? Number one is define what is overrated or underrated, I could sit here and look at the best champions inside the entire game according to hellhades.com, and I could sit here and tell you that, no, Kymar is not number one, overrated, even though I do think she's number one in terms of PvE. I'm just giving you as an example. So, even highly ranked champions who I love, I could probably say they're overrated if they're number one. I think they should be number 5 or whatever. So I'm not going to split hairs in that regard in today's video. I have not prepared at all like I normally do for all of these tier list or ranking videos or whatever. I haven't looked at anything. I'm just going to go through the rankings of someone else's list. And by the way, I think that Hell Hades and Aftershock, I'll link both of those tier lists. I think they're the best ones out there, that I found at least. No discredit to anything here. Obviously, that brings me to my next point. The beautiful thing about this game, and the reason I've seen your comments asking for videos like this for so long, and this is important, there's a use for almost every champion in this game. And it's hard for me to say that, no, looking at any of these champions, it's hard for me to say, no, that champion's overrated. I'm just giving it as an example. Because the truth is, even some of the crappier champions in this game, you can get really good utility out of. Maybe it's in an unorthodox, artifact set. Or maybe it's as a niche part of a really niche but effective strategic team. So my intentions here aren't to say don't invest in these champions. It's purely just the exercise of saying, nah, I don't have that champion that highly ranked personally, and here's why. So we're going to kind of flip between the tier list here and between the game. I'm not sure if we'll do 20 or 10 or 5 or 30. I'm just going to kind of go through and see where the video takes us. So come on in, enjoy the ride, guys. Buckle up. Get ready to get mad at me in the comments. I made this observation before too, but whenever I'm talking about underrated champions or champions that I love that nobody talks about or whatever, everybody in the comments are like, yeah, I love that champion. Very seldom, if ever, is someone like, no, that champion's trash. But when I do it the opposite, oh man, all the fan clubs, all the card-carrying fan club members of these champions come out in the comments. Anyway, I still think they're fun to do. Looking at the tippity top here, the best champions in the game. These are these 5 overall ratings. They're all essentially tied for number 1, right? So Acrizia, Cardial, Duchess, Geo, and Epic that high. Really cool to see, but I don't disagree with any of them. Now, Grazer, Iron Gut, I don't have yet, or I say yet, I don't have him, period. Hopefully I'll get him someday, right? But I think he's amazing. He looks absolutely incredible, so I would also, sight unseen, I would rank him a 5. The rest of these champions I do have. I love Krisk, love Lydia, I love Marichka, Mithrala, Pythion as a 5? Yeah, I guess I have no problem with that either. Now, Quintus the Triumphant, nobody, at the time of this recording, nobody has him. Nobody. So I can't say he's a 5 or a 4 or a 3. His kit looks good, but I want to see him in action. But yeah, he looks to be really solid. Siphi, 5. Yeah, she used to be like a 5.5 before she got nerfed. She's still one of the best in the game. Taurus, 5. Theodore the Savant, 5. I don't think he's overrated. Brogni, this is not going so well so far. Now, I think as we go down, these are the no-brainers, right? Brogni, no problems with him being a 5. Although I would say he's maybe like a smidgen of a step down from some of these like OP voids at the top of the list here. But no problem with that. Warlord, Yumeko, 5s for me, easy. Arbiter, 4.5, no problems with that. Bad Khazar, okay. Here we go, guys. Here we go. It's funny because I've had like a long backstory of Bad Khazar. First, I had Chosen on the video. Chosen was arguing, dude, these guys in general, like, come on, man. They get a life. Seriously, trying to scam people on gems in general chats all day. Jeez. Just go out and make a freaking lemonade stand. You'll make more money. Golly.
First day in business as a lemonade dealer. Wow. Wow, thank you so much.
I digress. Got in debate over Chosen. Chosen was saying he's overrated. A lot of you guys agree with Chosen in the comments. And then I had YST come on. And YST, I think the video was like he replaced Bad Khazar. He replaced Bad Khazar with Gerda Bogbrew, bro. And had a better run on all his dungeons, not just one. So, you know what? I'm going to say, even though Malice is an insanely good ability and you can get so much utility out of a Bad Khazar, again, not saying anything about him negative per se, but the fact that you can use a free login reward champion after like 500 days or whatever, 600 days, I don't know how long it is, but it's a while. But a champion that everybody thinks is trash is better in so many different areas than Bad Khazar. I don't know. I'm going to say that maybe Bad L is a little bit. I'm starting to come around a little bit, you know? I think, yeah, I'm not going to be stubborn. I think maybe a little overrated. Still a really good champion, but one of the best in the game. Maybe those days are behind us a little bit on Bad Khazar. So Bad L, he makes the list. Baron, 4.5, sure. Cupidus, 4.5. I love Cupidus. I use Cupidus on like my second best Hydra clan boss team. I think he's a fantastic champion. Amazing in so many different areas. But it's hard for me to... I don't know, man. Cupidus with Venus on the same team, but you can't do that, right? You can't say you have both the champions. Cupidus without Venus, I am not... Because with Venus, he's inflicting 25% more damage, and he's always counterattacking with a strong AoE on the A1. Cupidus with Venus, yes. Cupidus without Venus, I'm not sure. He does have 100% burn, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown now. I'm not sure I would put him as this highly ranked without Venus, even though I'm a huge Cupidus fan. So I'll say is a little overrated. Cupidus, number 2. Dark Kael. Love Dark Kael. Love him. No complaints there. Deke. Nah, Deke's really good with that extra turn. With that extra turn, I mean, we talk about this all the time, right? Hopefully you guys are enjoying this video. I have no idea if this format, I feel very unprepared for it compared to what I usually have here.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Deke, he's so good because of that extra turn that leads him into the A3 like all the time, and the extra turn also reduces the cooldown of time compression. So it's just some really nasty synergy in this kit, and I feel like even some endgame players who I talk to, I feel like sometimes they underrate actually epic champions because they're like, dude, they're epic champions, ha ha ha, you know? Not everybody, but some people have that mentality, I feel like, that I talk to for strategy and stuff like that. So I actually think he's properly rated. Demitha, there's a lot of Demitha fans, and I think she's tremendous. She's a great champion, right? But with Demitha, I feel like personally, I stopped, just my own anecdotal experience, right? I stopped using Demitha when Helicath came out. Not to say that, you know, she's... Not to compare directly, because they're a lot different, too. They're a lot similar with the block damage, but they're a lot different as well. And she brings a lot to the table, other than just the A3. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown. I get all of that. But the reason that she's taken a little step back from me is because I use Helicath everywhere now. But I still think she's one of the better epics out there in the game. So I don't think she's overrated. Just kind of sharing my own experience with her. Duck the Pierced, overrated. I love this dude and he carries my mini account, okay? But a 4.5, basically saying he's the 5th best epic in the game. I don't agree. I think that, like, you know, I could pick out off the top of my head like a Godseeker and Neri. Heck, I even think, this is kind of crazy to say, but I think that like Fat Man is one of the best epics out there.
Fat Man.
I did a guide on him on the second channel. I started using him more. I built him on my mini account. And then I started using him on my main account, you know, like alongside like Cardio or Longbeard in a double ally attack or even a triple ally attack team. And like, dude, that guy's really freaking good. Anyway, I digress. On Duck the Pierce, though, I think he's a great champion. Don't get me wrong, man. He's got decreased attack and decreased defense, a defense-based champion on a 3-turn cooldown. It's kind of like Stag Knight. The only difference is that Stag Knight, I mean, he has the accuracy. That's nice. Stag Knight has decreased speed on his A1. I like that a lot more than decreased accuracy. Moreover, Stag Knight has 107 speed, and my man Duck the Pierce is 97. A lot of newer players, I feel like it takes time to recognize how important base stats are in this game, specifically speed. And to me, Duck the Pierce, like, you know, they're very different champions. Defense-based, attack-based, blah, blah, blah. And but not to mention, though, 15k, you see this behind my shoulder here, 15k base HP. I mean, Stag Knight has what, like 21k or something like that? I know I'm comparing him to Stag Knight, but they both have that very similar ability, right? Where they both bring the decrease attack and decrease defense on the same 3-turn cooldown, right? But look at 21k on the base HP and 107 on that speed. And as I mentioned, the decreased speed. I say all this to say that Duck the Pierce is amazing, but personally, give me Stag Knight any day, you know? So, with that being said, I haven't seen Stag Knight on the list yet, right? And I would put Stag Knight over him. Thus, I would say Duck the Pierce is a great champion, but overrated. Dracomorph, oof. This one hurts, man, because Dracomorph is one of my most powerful champions on my account. And yet, I only really use him in one area now, Clan Boss, right? I guess Faction Wars too. I have him +4, fully awakened this beast, you know?
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, showstopper.
And just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Why? You might be wondering why the unorthodox, why 3-piece Relentless here. It's because I couldn't use him in Relentless on Clan Boss, and I was switching up builds for a guide video on him. So don't read too much into the build on any of these champions unless I give you the otherwise the go-ahead. But either way, guys, Draco, for me, jeez, I don't know what to say about him. Like, his kit is still amazing. 4 poisons, a ton of damage, decreased defense, and weaken on a 3-turn cooldown. Geez, only like 5 champions have that on an AoE in the game. 5 with Bellinor now. He's a great champion. But I guess saying with Bellinor now is part of the thing, right? They've added more champions over time. Lydia's of the world, the Bellinors of the world, and more champions. Even like Sissia has a potential of landing both on the same ability. So now it's not that special as it once was when there was literally like Venus and Dracomorph that had that ability, you know? So I think that Draco is maybe a little bit overrated to still have him as one of the better epics, legendaries out there in the game. Drexthar Blood Twin at 4.5. I think he's a little overrated.
I'll kill you,
Man, I can feel you guys getting so angry at me, man. I need to grow some thicker skin. Damn, man. Drexthar is amazing, and I know he's a champion that's accessible for a lot of people, and he's great. He's great because he can solo so much content or duo so much content in the game, specifically in Doom Tower. He's tanky and he has the burn on his passive. He's a great champion to use, and he's great in other areas just than Doom Tower as well. I want to be clear on that, right? But they've added so many freaking burners. Heck, we have, at the time of this recording, we have a burner on a champion chase, right? They've added so many burners to the game since Drexthar that I feel like his kit is a little bit less as special and unique as it once was. So in that regard, putting him as an almost perfect champion, almost 5-star, to me is a little bit overrated on the champion. Oof, it hurts to say. It hurts to say some of your favorite champions are overrated.
Well, then don't say it!
Elva, I think she's properly rated. She's a very good champion. Nutcracker, Nishak, I have no problems there. There's Godseeker, properly rated, if not a 5. I'm a massive Godseeker and Neri fan. Harima, I agree with. Helikath, I agree with. He's an insane champion in the arena. Insane champion everywhere almost in the game. Very good. Hephraak, 4.5, overrated. So Hephraak is... I've had Hephraak. I've used a lot of Hephraak. First of all, he's a great arena nuker, right? So I'm saying overrated in the sense that I would probably give him like a 4. However, give me, you know, a Candyman, a Leo. I'm picking the best of the best, obviously, right? A Candyman, a Leo of the attack-based nukers in the game. I put him like a small notch below. Although he's doing a ton of damage with his Hephraak Scorn, and he has the really cool ability to instantly activate it whenever an ally is dead, and he has one of the most annoying yet fun teams to run when you put him in Stone Skin with just like a squishy champions next to him. You can like absolutely destroy stuff everywhere, right? That being said, to rank him as one of the top nukers inside the entire game over some of the ones that I mentioned earlier, I think that personally, again, he might be a little bit notch below. Herndig, I'm going to be real with you guys. I have Herndig, and I've maxed him, but I barely ever used him. His kit looks insane. Obviously, I've used him a little bit. I've seen other guides on him. It's not like I'm not acquainted with him, but I'd feel... Given that I have, unlike every other champion I've mentioned so far, right? I haven't played a lot of Herndig. So for me to sit here and say overrated or properly rated liar would be a little bit disingenuous. So I'm going to take a free pass there. Everybody else I've used other than Quintus and, you know, the new champions. I'll mention these champions. If I haven't spent a lot of time on them, I'll mention it to you guys, or if I don't have them. Calvalax. Don't have, but I know he's a beast. Wish I did. Golly. Kurigar Deathbell. Don't have, beast. Properly rated. I mean, let's take a quick look at Kurigar Deathbell, man. Not a lot of fanfare when he was introduced to the game, but boy, is he a monster of a champion. He's got a heal on him as A1, an AoE, 100% chance win booked of filling the turn meter of all allies by 30% with a full cleanse on the same ability. It's a really good ability, but check this out, guys. We get the 2 biggest damage mitigator, raw damage mitigators out there in the game on 1 3-turn cooldown, right? He's bringing a 50% damage mitigation on Ally Protect and a 25% damage mitigation on Strengthen on the same ability. That's a lot of support. And then he has a pretty cool passive as well. He's counterattacking when allies are under. Well, you guys can read it. I think this guy's a monster. I really want him. I really want him. He seems super, super cool. What are the reviews like early on? Yeah, they're like pretty good across the board here in the game as well. Okay, Kyoku at a 4.5. Maybe. No, I think she's a great champion. Yeah, she's an insanely good tank. However, I will say this about Kyoku. She's not on that many like super uber endgame teams, like the best teams in the world in any particular area. You know what? Maybe Ice Golem Hard. I've seen some of the faster teams there. So I think that that's a fair rating for her. I don't think she's overrated. I think she's very good. Very exceptionally good ally attack and block damage ability that makes her very annoying to deal with. Lady Kimmy, properly rated. I think she's a beast. Leo, Lysandra, Mashald, no problems with any of those champions. Mashald, to me, might be... No, he's very... That Tornado is just insane, that A2 ability. I have Mashald fully empowered on my account. And again, full transparency here, guys. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong, but I am going to be real. He's also plus fully awakened and fully empowered. And he doesn't do a lot of damage, or not a lot, it's not about damage. He hasn't found like a sure thing spot on any of my teams other than like my 3rd best Hydra team. What is he bringing to the table? He's bringing an increased speed, increased crit damage, true fear, and a leech on all enemies, then an extra turn. It's a really, really good ability, right? But, you know, increased speed, now I feel like it's they're adding a lot of increased speed champions to the game. This is another one of those kind of power creep conversations, right? And listen, again, I have Mashal on my mini account, right? He's one of like the 4 or 5 legendaries that I have built. And I ride him hard in every area of the game. So for the nth time this video, I will reiterate, it's not a knock on Mashal. I'm just saying, like, should he be considered one of the best champions in the game? I think maybe a tiny notch below, kind of like the Hephraak conversation with Mashal. If you already have an increased speed champion on your team, granted he has it like almost all the time because of the extra turn, then you're getting the increased crit damage, which is a valuable but not an essential buff. And True Fear is not going to work against bosses, so you got to leech, you know? So if you strip down the necessity to have that increased speed on this champion, you know, leeches can be found kind of everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to say here, is that I do think that, you know, the AoE on the A1 potentially is very nice for Hydra, and that's why I use him, that in combination with the A2, not to mention a pretty solid A3 as well. But, you know, we've spent enough time, I feel like, on Mashal. Let's move it on here. Man-Eater. Man-Eater's a tremendous champion. I can't knock Man-Eater. Is he as good as these legendaries, you know, that he's around? I don't think so, but he is if you're running a Man-Eater unkillable team, right? Like, if you need Man-Eater, you got him.
His brain ain't right, but it's fun.
The rest of his kit is very good, but the rest of his kit, you know, isn't enough, in my opinion, to vault him to the top of all these OP champions around him, right? Michinaki, yes, I personally would give Michinaki a 5. I'm that high on this champion, so he would be an underrated for me on this list. You know, trying not to go through every champion here, but like, Michinaki is, golly, he's so freaking good, man. I mean, Hydra, he's one of the best champions in the game. It's like straight up. Decreased defense, decreased attack if they're under hex on the same 3-turn cooldown, and AoE ×2. First hit removes all buffs, second hit places a hex. He's got a burn at a 60% clip on his A1. He's got a chance to join in on ally attacks, thus placing more burns. He deals a just ridiculous amount of damage, not to mention all these essential debuffs and buff strips that he brings to the table. That is so much utility. Yeah, I count him as a 5. Mighty Uko, I'm gonna say underrated. I think I would give Mighty Uko a 5 too. Isn't that crazy? Sometimes you have the tendency to overrate newer champions, and sometimes you have the tendency to underrate newer champions as well. But I'm going to go out on a limb, maybe not that much of a limb, and say that Mighty Uko, like Hydra and Arena are both 5s. So many different areas, like in terms of a control, in terms of that kit, the double chance for the stun, the revive, the AoEs on both attacks. So much versatility on where you can use that champion, that reviver. I think he's a really, really cool champion. Necrit the Great, properly rated. Necmo Thar, properly rated. You could argue underrated. That lizard, that bug is so nasty. Ninja, again, you could argue a 5. Prince Kymar, I'm going to say underrated here, because I think that Prince Kymar is one of the best champions, bar none, in the game. It's easy to take for granted some of these older champions, some of these old school champs in the game, right? But Prince Kymar is... We're supposed to be talking about underrated champions, Ash. I mean, overrated, sorry. Why am I talking about my faves here? I'll finish this thought really quickly, though. The AoE with poisons, the Abyssal Gaze, which is one of the most annoying and strong abilities in the arena, and not to mention Seal of Magic, which just makes him an absolute machine. Or a motor, I would say, that keeps so many teams, Seer activation teams, poison combust teams, you name it, right? Keeps them going, not to mention that aura. I mean, he's just such a special champion. All right, Ragash, properly rated, a very, very good champion. Insanely good kit. Damage, stun, decreased defense, strengthen, and increased speed? Big versions? Oh my god. Ramen 2 Drake's Blood, don't have him. I'm the worst slacker of all time. I would appreciate if you guys would shame me really hard in the comments and force me to put on my big boy underpants.
Take this! Expelliarmus!
It's supposed to be pants, not underpants, Ash. That sounds really weird. I told this story a million times, but I'll tell it in 2 seconds. I pulled Arbiter very early in the game, and I said, screw Arbiter missions, ha ha ha! And now I'm too lazy to go all the way through everything. Anyway, still the Drake's at 4.5. I mean, I can't talk any smack on my girl. I will say this, though. She is not as good, and you can say this about any champion, right? I'm not hating on Syl. I love you, Syl. I love you. I love you. But she's not as good as she was when she was introduced to the game because, again, it's like all the champions they've added henceforth, right? It's just a lot of really good revivers. That being said, she's still one of the better champions out there in terms of control, heals, revive, right? She's got it all in that kit, right? Not to mention decreased speed on the A1. Decreased speed on A1s like Tomb Lord, like Stag Knight, Soul of the Drakes, there's a bunch of them. Those are my favorite little not silly, but extra little add-ons on champions, right? Like, it's never the feature of their kit, but I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that, you know? So, you know, Elva Autumnborn is a good example of another champion that, you know, can serve some of the utility that Soul of the Drakes has. Granted, not the control, but she has the increased speed and you know, well, you guys know. So I'll say that, you know, very good champion, especially because she's free. So, like, getting access to her opens up so many opportunities. At least it did for my mini account, right? Seer, properly rated. Seer is still an essential champion in this game. Sissia, Flame Tongue, properly rated. Sir Nick, how about this? Overrated.
I'd like to take his face off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Sir Nick fan club. I actually think that he's another champion that's been power crept, frankly. You know, he is it's criminal how much they charge for him in life tokens, that's for sure. Right? Even if you're a fan of his, I'm sure you're not happy about that cost. Golly. What is it, like 6 champions you need to sacrifice to get him? Jeez. 8 champions? I don't know. A lot. He's got a freeze on his A1 that can't be resisted. That's nice, you know? It's 50%. Still nice. An AoE shield. Pretty good shield. 3-turn cooldown. Pretty good damage, too. Okay. And then unkillable continuous heal for 2 turns on a 4-turn. Again, it's not a bad kit at all, you know? Block damage is so much better than unkillable, in my opinion, because they still keep their HP, right? So again, put him in the line of the many victims of Helikath, right? And even a champion like, I'm not comparing her directly, but Demitha, you know, I just find it so much more valuable to have that. So now we're bringing a shield, and, you know, I feel like there's other champions that do what he does, maybe even a little bit more effectively, but still a really solid champion, but he's just not what he once was, so slightly overrated. All right, Stag Knight, there you are. I love Stag Knight, and to be fair, he's a 4.52, which is alphabetical order. But I still think he's better than Dr. Pierced. Staltus Dragonbane, 4.5? Sure. I mean, I think it might be no, I was gonna say maybe it's a little generous, but no, I think he's a beast. Supreme Kael. Oh, this one confounds me, guys. Supreme Kael. I'm gonna say he's overrated. I know you guys are gonna disagree with me because his kit reads so freaking good, man. Like, you look at his kit and you're like, dude, that's it. I beat Raid Shadow Legends. I have Supreme Kael.
As long as he's amused and making money.
I mean, this is like one of those situations where, yeah, I have an endgame account. I spent money on this game. I'm not like here to deny that. I've also been playing for 4 years, you know? With all that, so like take that into consideration. But with all that said, I can't find a place for this dude on any of my teams, you know? He's got poisons. If there's ever a boss that has like a million resistance, he'll be one of the best champions in the game, because all of the debuffs that he's bringing, right, cannot be resisted. He brings increased accuracy as well. The poisons can't be resisted. The increased duration of buffs can't be resisted. The weaken can't be resisted. So, man, that's incredible, right? So all this stuff that can't be resisted, you think the number one place for him to be used would be the arena, right? But that his kit does not lend itself to the arena. It's really a kit that does well for Hydra, but, you know, he's bringing poisons that can't be resisted. He's increasing the duration of enemy debuffs if you have to worry about cleanses. You know, like, you could use his position for a provoker, for example, right? Increased accuracy and decreased resist are both nice, but, like, who is specifically building a team a little bit lower on all their champions with accuracy for a Hydra clan boss run, you know? Or that they need decreased resistance, you know? So, like, at first glance, I feel like his kit is just like, oh yeah, dude. Like I said, this is it. But then when you start thinking about, you know, okay, where am I going to be using him specifically? I feel like that's where you start to go, huh, okay, he is a good champion, but he might not be an S tier champion. So I would say a little bit overrated. Hopefully I did a pretty good job articulating like my reservations on Supreme Kael. I know a lot of you guys are fans of him. Tatura Rhymehide, I think that's an accurate rating, 4.5. Very good kit, some damage, very tanky for a defense-based champion. I mean, it's good to remind yourself from time to time just how much value Tatura Rhymehide brings to the table. And where the heck is this thing? Am I that blind right now? Jeez, right in front of my face. We have decreased accuracy. No big deal, 100%. Nice to have, right? We have block debuffs, increased defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That's a really strong ability, you know? Block debuffs on a lot of abilities that have increased defense and block debuffs are either on a 4-turn cooldown or the block debuffs only last for 1 turn. It's nice to have them both for 2 on a 3. And then the AoE with the perfect veil. You never see an AoE perfect veil in this game, at the time of this recording at least, that's not on a 4-turn cooldown. So don't like knock it because you're like, oh, it's a 4-turn cooldown. You don't see it on a 3-turn cooldown, like Duchess, any other champion you can think of, right? So this is the best it gets. Plays a shield as well on this champion, and then when attacked, has the reflect damage, and then the freeze chance as well. Just such a cool champion, not just for Hydra, which is the obvious spot, but for progression, you know, in like for so many accounts, I would imagine, who have this champion in a previous fusion. I know we're going a little bit long on this video, but I'm actually kind of enjoying it now that I'm in the swing of things. I felt like we had kind of a rocky start, but anyway, here we go. Teumesia. I think maybe a little bit overrated here at a 4.5. Very good champion. Have her, use her, love her, right? And nah, you know what? I take it all back. I think she's properly rated. Because when you really think about it, just because I don't use her a ton, you know, I don't want to knock her for that. Because this ability, this Cunning Chaos, is very special. It's a 3-turn cooldown, 100% burn on a 3-turn duration. So a 3-turn duration on a 3-turn cooldown with 100% stun on targets with 50% turn meter or more. And then has a decreased speed if they have less than that. I mean, that's a big girl ability for Teumesia, dude. That's a really good one. And then a lot of, well, you guys can read the Burning Regret. It can deal a sick amount of damage, not to mention turn meter and control there built in as well. Cool kind of passive as well. So yeah, I think that she's properly rated. I was going to say a little bit overrated, but I think that on second thought, very good. Trunda 4.5, I'm fine with that. Trunda's still a monster. That's one from like the Brad video where, again, a lot of you guys were like really agreeing on him. He mentioned Trunda was one of his picks on a Pyrocrypt. She's been Pyrocrypt in the arena for sure. Still very good in the arena. But at the same time, she's become like one of the best damage dealers for Hydra. She can deal some insane damage. She's still widely used on a bunch of teams in Doom Tower. I feel like she's really still solid, you know? And for what she lacked in the arena, she gained in Hydra for me. Tuwana, yes, if not a 5. I've always been, I think right when she came out, my OG viewers will remember, I was actually going on other channels and debating that she was one of the better champions out there in the game. She's so good. I'm doing it again. I'm talking about a champion that I don't think is overrated. My bad. Turvold, especially with him being a beast in the arena right now. I think a 5 in the arena, not a 4. I think that's a proper rating. Incredible raw damage. Incredible in Clan Boss. Very cool champion. Ugo. I don't know if I can say overrated on Ugo, but I think she's fallen off a little bit in terms of being one of the best. I think she was, I put her as a top 5 epic, you know. Might have put her in a top 3 epic. And I think there's just been really good epics who have been added since, you know. But I still think she's incredible for Hydra. I mean, this ability itself is really good, and then that she has the heal and the mini cleanse. Yeah, I think she's probably properly rated still. Just because she used to be 3 and now she's 4 or 5 or whatever the heck, you know, doesn't mean she's overrated. Valkyrie, 4.5, I'm cool with it. Venus, I'm cool with it. Vogoth, 4.5. Very big rating, but I'm cool with it. Vogoth is so unique. He's really one of the better healers out there in the game. You know, you could use him in the arena, put him in a bolster set or something, build him slow. Just like, the cool thing is you can build him slow because you're just relying off that passive, you know? Yeah, there's so many different ways to use Vogoth. Bommel, I mean, I could go on and on. Nether Spider, so I think that's a proper rating. Abyss, I really love Abyss. I think that's cool. She just deals a ton of damage, and she's a debuffer, right? Kemptum, I'm very cool with. I would put Kemptum like a notch. We're in the 4 overall rating here. I would put a Kemptum in like the S tier category of epics. So I would say underrated. Allure, I would also put her in the S tier category instead of like Duck. So 4. Aox the Rememberer, I have not used a lot of Aox the Rememberer. You guys swear by him. You swear by him. His kit to me seems cool, but maybe a little overrated.
Oh well. Plan B. Let's just kill each other.
I can't believe I said that out loud. You can tell me why I'm wrong. I also want to tell you guys that, you know, I haven't, again, admittedly, I haven't used him a lot. I haven't used him a lot. So why don't you guys tell me why I'm wrong on Aox the Rememberer? Because I'm gonna call him a little bit overrated. He's got a poison on the A1, small chance, 30, when booked. He's got a heals all allies, heals each ally a little bit more for each debuff on the target. Could be a substantial amount more on like Clan Boss, right? And then we have decrease attack on enemies for 2 turns. Also has a chance of decreasing enemies' turn meter by 20%. Decrease crit rate on targets for 2 turns if they have 50% more turn meter after the turn meter decrease. Doesn't seem that special. It doesn't seem that good of an ability to me. Not awful though. Actually, I'll take it back. The turn meter plus the decreased attack in itself is a pretty good ability. Not justifiable as saying that like the best epic out there, but Steward of Time increases the duration of 2 random debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn when attack occurs once per hit. So I guess that's it for Clan Boss, right? Like that is what makes him special. The Steward of Time, very good passive for Clan Boss, debuff extension. So am I missing anything there, guys? What would you say I'm missing in terms of, let me see the reviews on him. Demon Lord, again, I agree with that ranking on Demon Lord. Very special kit. So I guess is that enough to justify him as being like one of the better epics in the game? Perhaps, you know? So I guess I don't have a problem with that. Archbishop Penthroy, properly rated, big fan. Archmage Helmet, properly rated. Armiger, could you rank Armiger above all the legendaries we haven't spoken about? It's not that I'm an Armiger hater, you know what I'm saying? If you factor in, let me say it this way. I'll say it this way on Armiger, right? I'm not a hater. Cold Brew, don't kill me. Cold Brew. If you factor in his availability, how easy he is to get, I think that absolutely he's probably the best champion in the game, right? Like he and Silda Drakes and a few others, right? So if that is a factor, then yes, I agree. If you're saying that his kit alone makes him one of the top, what are we at, like 50 champions in the game, 60? No. I don't think his kit alone makes him that. But if you factor in availability, so really it depends on what you're trying to argue in Armiger. That being said, great champion. Such a simple kit, but very effective. His base stats suck, but he is a defense-based champion, which is the nice thing about it. Defense isn't crazy, but again, he's easy to keep alive, and he needs to be because he's an uncommon champion. So I won't say I'll plead the fifth on Armiger. All right, Basatha at 4. I think Basatha is just it's a pretty good champion. I think that's okay. Bellinar at 4, maybe a little underrated now, you know? I think it's a good rating, though. Bivald of the Thorn, maybe a little underrated here. I don't know. I might give him a 4.5. Blind Seer. Whew. Overrated. I said it.
If we kill him, won't they just get another chubby dude with a goofy hairdo to come in and replace him?
Exactly. And I think the Blind Seer is a very cool champion. She's super fast. One of the fastest in the game at 115 speed. That's Mother Cybele fast. That's Sippy the Lost Bride fast, guys. She's got a great aura. Defense in all battles by 34%. Very solid. She's got a triple hitter on the A1 with turn meter decrease. Each hit has a 40% chance. So not bad. A1 very solid. She's got a block debuffs and then a shield. Shield isn't that big because it's hard to scale her HP super high. But still, it's not a bad ability. Her revive is exceptionally weak, especially for a Void legendary. It's an area where, again, when she was introduced as one of the first Void batch of Void legendaries, it was very, very good, you know, this ability. But now, you know, an AoE revive on a 5-turn with 35% HP and a block damage, it's not enough. You need a really strong turn meter boost, I would say, with this ability, or you could bring it down to a 4-turn cooldown. Sorry, Cat says hi. What are you doing in my video, Fernie? What are you doing in my video? I feel like it needs to be like, I think this could use a little buff, right? Turn meter fill, 65% HP, you know, but something, you know. Or you could simply add, like, places the big version of strengthen on all allies as well, you know? That seems to be kind of standard now, right? With the improved models on these new revivers, right? We're looking at a vintage model here. On our revivals now, we want that strengthen. We want that Mighty Uko increased speed on all allies, even if no one's revived, or maybe we don't want that part of it, but arguable. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I feel like maybe a little bit overrated. I just wanted to get a buff, frankly, you know? Canderfawn, properly rated, maybe underrated. See, again, Canderfawn's lower ranked than Hephraak. Again, we're splitting hairs here. They're both great nukers, but I would take Candyman. Shagur. Man, Shagur's really good, dude. At 4, I think that's fine, if not maybe a little underrated. Claidna, have her, obviously. Used her a lot. Was very excited to do a guide on her. What are they? I think they're, yeah. Her ratings are bad in-game too. So I'm going to say definitely super underwhelmed with her kit. There's no way I can find any utility to use this champion. That said, if I had her like on my free-to-play account, well, honestly, it's not free-to-play anymore. I spent freaking $50 in chickens. Okay, my mini account. If I had her on my mini account, this is the Litman's chest. Would I book her? Knowing how hard books are to get when you're not paying for them. Sleep on the A1. An AoE decreased speed and a leech. And a heal, 20% of this champion's max HP on a 3-turn cooldown. Pretty good ability, right? Block debuffs, revive on death on a 3-turn. And then it has a chance of blocking incoming damage on the first hit of an attack. Occurs once per turn. Not that great of an ability, right? It's blocking the incoming damage on just her. Like, if it's an AoE attack, everybody else still gets damage, right? And it's only a 60% chance, which sounds like a lot, but it's the first hit, you know, and it occurs once per turn. So, like, she can get easily one shot by Turvold, you know, even if this procs. Anyway, I was super excited. She has this massive HP in dungeons, even maybe Sand Devil, something like that. But, man, she just didn't fit in any of my teams, and I just found her. And honestly, this kit, she's built for Sand Devil. I guess on my, I'm sorry, I'm spending so much time talking about her, but I guess on my free-to-play, I guess what I would do is I would vault her, and when I was really ready to start focusing a lot of my energy on Sand Devil, I would consider investing. But that would be the only reason I would actually use her, you know, until Sylvan Watcher's Faction Wars comes out. Let's see, a few more here, guys. Cold Heart, properly rated. Cornelia, properly rated. She's a very, very special epic champion. All right, here. The rest, Corvus, Countess, Cronum, King Graal. You know, I have my favorites out of these champions, but I want to find, this is the last champion we'll talk about, I want to find a big outlier, and I found him. Fodbor the Bard, in terms of, I'm going to say overrated. Not a bad champion, but he's to me, he's very Faction War centric, you know? Where the heck even is he right now? Is he right in my face? There he is. Yes, he is. He's very Faction War centric. I mean, who is getting excited about a stun if they have no active buffs? or removing buffs on a single target, and then an AoE decreased defense on a 4-turn cooldown, you know? Outside of if you're really looking for a debuffer and a little bit of control, he does have a triple hitter, but, you know, just heal reduction. I don't get excited about Fodbor the Bard. Again, like, he could be a champion who could definitely help you out in Faction Wars, but I feel like there's a lot of better debuffer options out there outside of that. So guys, there it goes. A much longer video than I had intended, but hopefully you enjoyed chilling with me, talking a little bit of Raid. Whether you agreed or disagreed with my picks, I would love to hear you guys in the comments below. Even if maybe you agreed with some of my picks, like, yeah, you're right, Ash, Sir Nick is overrated. I want to hear you guys too. Give me some positivity back, guys, not all negativity. Much love to all of you guys. Thanks for watching all the way till the end. And as always, take care, guys.